So we will discuss two parts. One is about the linear models and second one is about the regression model, and then we will do their analysis. So as you all know that this equation y is equal to mx plus c that everyone has studied, this equation is nothing but equation of line. Here m is called slope parameter, slope of the line, and c is said to be intercept. X is said to be a independent variable, or you can say that control variable because that control is in your hand. And x is said to be a dependent variable. If you know the value of m and c for a given a value of x, you can exactly obtain the value of y. And if you make the graph is something like that. This is your x, this is your y, this distance is said to be c, and this line is said to be y is equal to mx plus c. And it is making the angle, this angle is known as a m, theta, and that is tan theta is equal to m. M is nothing but the slope of the line. If you substitute x equal to c, the minimum value of y is c. X equal to 0, minimum value of y is c. Okay. So this is called mathematical equation. If we write just change of notation, if I write c by beta 0 and m by beta 1x, again this equation is a mathematical equation and this is the equation of line, where beta 0 is the intercept and beta 1 is a slope parameter. For example, if you say that y is a sales of product, that is the revenue generated using the sales of the product, and x is a advertisement expenditure. So suppose if you are interested to buy a new car, okay, so what are the basic features are you looking while purchasing the car? Purchase of car, or you can say that sales of car. It depends on suppose if you wish to buy a car, what will you see? Am I audible?
Price. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what will you see while purchasing the car?
Price.
So first is a price. Second,
Brand.
brand. Which company's car is it? It's a brand. Then
Quality, sir.
quality. Quality. Okay, quality in terms
Mileage.
in terms of mileage. then
Availability of spare parts.
availability,
After sales services.
yes, after sales service,
Look of the car.
aesthetic, that is the look. एस्थेटिक में कलर आएगा, डिजाइन आएगा, सब आ जाएगा. एस्थेटिक,
Safety features.
सेफ्टी, रीसेल वैल्यू,
Speed.
resale value, then maintenance, then
इंश्योरेंस है
इंश्योरेंस को कार के साथ कोई मतलब नहीं है. इंश्योरेंस इज एड ऑन.
Mileage.
Mileage is already there. Then fuel capacity, then सपोज इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कार आई है लेकिन वो 100 किलोमीटर उसकी कैपेसिटी है, चलेगी तो हम उसको खरीदेंगे? नहीं खरीदेंगे. तो वी विल सी दैट कि भाई एक बार चार्ज किया 250 किलोमीटर चलती है, देन ओके फाइन, वी विल बाय इट. सो फ्यूल कैपेसिटी, अगेन इट इज ए सीएनजी, डीजल, petrol, electronic. Then how will you know that whether the car is available, which car is launched by the company? So that is
Advertise.
due to the advertisement. So you can see that when the company wish to study about the sales of a car, so this is my dependent variable. I wish to see that the sales of car is affected by price, brand, mileage, availability, after sales service, advertisement, aesthetic, safety, resale value, maintenance, fuel capacity, and types of fuel, and many more are there. Yet we have not go for the comfort, luxury. Okay, wheelbase, horse, how many cc, whether it is 1100 cc, 900 cc, 1400 cc. So what is the horsepower of the car? Okay, so there are many, whether it is a small car or large car, big car, there is also a small or big. So there are so many variables are affecting the sales of car. Okay, but I wish to only study the impact of the advertisement. Okay, how much amount of the money should I invest in the advertisement expenditure so that I can have a impact on the sales of a car? Because we know that what you are giving is not important in the era of marketing. How you are giving, how you are presenting, that is very important. So once the customer will buy, and of course then later on you provide the quality, you will remain in the market. Okay, so the advertisement is a very important aspect, and therefore one has to invest lots of money in the advertisement expenditure. So sales of a car, if I am saying that it is a function of advertisement expenditure, and I am writing epsilon. So y is nothing but सेल्स ऑफ कार. ये सारा है रुपीज में जो भी टर्नओवर हुआ उसका है. तो इट इज अ सेल्स ऑफ कार इन टर्म्स ऑफ ए रेवेन्यू एंड द एडवर्टाइजमेंट एक्सपेंडिचर. Now I have written the epsilon. So what is the meaning of epsilon? Epsilon is said to be error, and it is a cumulative effect of all variables which are affecting the response but we have not considered their we have not considered in our model. Okay, so I'm only interested to see that what is the impact of advertisement expenditures on the sales of a car. I know that there are so many variables which are affecting the sales of a car, but I have not considered in my model. I have only considered the one variable. So what about other variables? So what happen? I am writing it is a epsilon term. It is error term. It is nothing but it is a cumulative effect of all variables which are affecting the response, but we have not considered in our model. So our basic idea is that we wish to minimize this part so that we can have a best impact of x on a y. Is that okay? Here we are considering the relation between y and x is linear in parameters. Here the relation between y and x is linear in parameters. Therefore, it is known as linear model. Okay, so when you say that the model is a linear or non-linear, if you identify the relation between the y and x is linear in nature, then you can say that if the relation between y and x is linear in parameters, then we say that the model is said to be linear. And if the relation is a non-linear, then we say that it is a non-linear model. Any questions up to this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So ultimately our aim is we wish to develop a models. We know that the events are happening around to us and that events due to the certain causes. So in this semester in a linear models and regression analysis, we try to establish the relation between the events and the reasons of the events. Okay. So thus just this is giving the idea. Ultimately in the linear regression models and analysis, linear models and regression analysis, our objective is that we wish to obtain the estimate of the beta 0 and beta 1, and of course there are certain assumption on epsilon, okay, that we will come later on, and I'm giving the assumption. So the approach is that estimation of the parameters and the testing of parameters and the obtaining their confidence interval. So that we will do in entire semesters. So let us we'll give you the brief introduction. आप सबको मेरे साथ मैं जो यहाँ लिख रहा हूँ, आप सबके पास पेन एंड पेपर होना चाहिए. एवरीवन हैज टू प्रिपेयर योर नोट्स. One of the aim of science is to find or sorry, to find, to describe, and predict the relationship among events in the world. In which we live. One way this is accomplished by finding formula or equation. For example, in the relationship between temperature and process, sorry, temperature and pressure in chemical process. So we know that there is a relation between the temperature and pressure. If you increase the temperature, there is a chance of increase of the pressure because pressure is proportional to temperature. So in chemical process, we try to control the temperature so that pressure will be under control. We may be interested in the relationship between demand, supply, and price. Of certain commodities. we know that there is a connection between the demand and price. What is the connection? What is the connection? So if you reduce the price, demand will increase, is it?
Yes, sir.
And supply में क्या होगा? If the price is less, supply will be reducing. And if the price is high, supply is also high. But it is not always the possible. Suppose today the petrol price is 100 rupees. Okay. So are you going to stop running the vehicle? No. That means there will be a demand. If the price is low, are you going to store the petrol at your home? No. So you have to find out the price such that demand and supply is in the equilibrium situation. So both demand and supply are the function of a price. One more example, you can say that how a certain vaccine how a certain vaccine affects a disease. So some patient has been given the vaccine and whether the patient is cured or not. So it is a kind of also a regression models, but here whether the patient is cured or not, response is binary and amount of the dose of a vaccine is a quantitative. So we can apply the dose response model. It is also known as a logistic regression models. Okay. So these are all the questions we have and we wish to identify the relation among these all variables. In the relationship of rainfall, temperature and humidity, or the yield of variety of wheat. So I wish to identify what is the impact of rainfall, temperature and humidity on the yield of variety of a wheat. I wish to find out what is the production of a wheat if it is of a different variety and amount of the rainfall, temperature and humidity information is available to you. So I wish to establish the relation between these all variables. So this scenario we can observe in a day-to-day life. To study this, type of problems, we shall define Four types of models. Four types of models. All are very rich in real world situation. Two of these models are classified as qualitative and two of them are quantitative. So we first write the quantitative models. In quantitative model, first model is general linear models. And second model is linear regression models. Okay, so two quantitative models we are going to discuss. One is general linear models and second one is a linear regression models in the semester 2. But when you come to the semester 3, we will study the qualitative models. The first qualitative model is design models. That is, we apply all design of experiment, CRD, RBD, LSD, GBD, PVIBD, BIBD. There are all factorial models. All models will be the part of a design models. Second is a component of variance model. So here the effect are the fixed, here the effect are the random. Okay, treatment and blocks are random, then that is the part of a component of variance model. But in all the setups, in a quantitative as well as the qualitative models, we assume that Y is quantitative. X may be quantitative or X may be qualitative. So in these two quantitative models, here X is a quantitative and here X is qualitative, okay, because it is a qualitative. So we are not touching Y. But suppose Y is a qualitative, then we can use the concept of a generalized linear models. So that we will see in the semester 3. So there are 4 models. 2 are quantitative, but it is based on the nature of X, and 2 are qualitative. Again, it is a nature of X is qualitative. These models are, so these all 4 models are closely related. These models closely related and procedure for drawing inference the procedure for drawing inference are almost similar in all models. So when this kind of models can be useful, so these models give the basic theory for the various types of the models discussed in the literature. The theory of models, it may be linear models, it may be regression model, it may be design models, okay, or component of variance model. So whatever the theory you are talking about, the theory of models provided basic theory for the variety of basic statistical techniques. For example, analysis of variance. Y is a, let us say, the yield of a product, and X is a treatment. So you can use the ANOVA models. Then there is a concept of a ANCOVA, that is the analysis of covariance model, experimental design, biological assay, you will be studying in the semester 4 in bioassay, growth curve, what is the growth of a plant, whether it is a depends on the time or not, what is the growth of a child, okay, the time is increasing, what kind of the growth you observe in the child. So the people we do the growth curve analysis, it is a statistical technique, multivariate linear models, time series analysis, okay, etc. So these are the basic statistical techniques we use in our day-to-day life, and this theory of models provide the basic theory for this. आप एनोवा में भी जाएंगे, एनकोवा में, whatever the models you will be studying, you have to use the concept of a linear model theory over there. For sake of illustration, we will take few example. For sake of understanding, we reproduce. Already it is available in literature. We produce the examples of linear model. Available in literature. First. So it is a kind of a model which can be used in the medical science. The cranial capacity. So where you can observe the cranial capacity of, it is a bone enclosing brain. ह्यूमन ब्रेन जो बोन के बीच में है, वो बोन की कैपेसिटी आपको मेजर करना है, देन इट इज नोन एज ए क्रेनियल कैपेसिटी ऑफ स्कल. is related to the occipital length, that is the back of head. Okay. Basic brachmatic height, and parietal breadth. Okay, so who can help you? This relation, that cranial capacity of skull is related with the occipital length and the brachiopragmatic height and the parietal breadth. A doctor who is working in the orthopedics. Okay, so orthopedician will suggest you that these variables are related. I wish to measure the cranial capacity of skull. Okay, we cannot test the cranial capacity like we are testing the helmet. एक बड़ा सा हैमर लो और हेलमेट के ऊपर लगाओ, हेलमेट टूट गया तो मतलब ये उसकी कैपेसिटी नहीं है. Can we do like that? Can we do like that?
No, sir.
We can't. So as a statistician, we have to help them. What are the factors which are really responsible to indirectly measure the cranial capacity of a skull? So the doctor said that yes, you can measure the indirectly by using the three variables: occipital length, brachiobrachmate height, and the parietal breadth. So by using this, we try to estimate the average capacity of skull, cranial capacity of a skull. Okay, so patient आएगा तो ये आप measure कर सकते हैं directly. So based on that, you try to measure what is the cranial capacity of a skull of a person whose information of LBH is given to you. So that is how the linear models is important. If we take logarithmic, transformation of this variable, the statistical relationship is log C equal to alpha plus beta 1 log L plus beta 2 log H plus beta 3 log B plus error. So what is the errors? Error is nothing but it is a cumulative effect of all other variables which are affecting the cranial capacity of skull, but we have not captured in our study. Where C is capacity, L is length, H is height, and B is breadth. Okay, and epsilon is random error that distinguish between mathematical model and statistical model. Okay, so epsilon is nothing but the random errors that distinguish between the mathematical models and statistical models. Log C is not exactly equal to
सर ये डिस्टिंग्विश के बगल में क्या लिखा है सर?
क्या distinguish between एक साथ में है distinguish between mathematical models and statistical models. Okay, log C जो आपने आगे लिखा log C, this one is not exactly this. Okay, तो वही लिख रहे हैं. Log C is not exactly equal to the alpha plus beta 1 log L plus beta 2 log h plus beta 3 log b for every skull. जबकि मैथमेटिक्स में what we say, it is exactly for every skull, but we know that there is a variation from skull to skull. So log c is not exactly equal to this for every skull, but it is distributed as random variable with mean इसको हम 1.2 कह दो. This is a 1.2 equation with mean 1.2. And epsilon is deviation of log c from its mean. So what is the mean? Mean is a alpha plus beta 1 log L plus beta 2 log H plus beta 3 log B. तो किसका मीन है? log C का. तो log C minus this quantity करेंगे तो what will you get? Epsilon. तो epsilon is nothing but it is a deviation of a log C from its mean. This deviation may be the result of a large number of variables that may be affecting C and are not included in the models. They are not included in the model. Beta 1, beta 2, beta 3 alpha भी आएगा. Alpha 1, beta 1, beta 2, beta 3 are unknown parameters in the model. Is that clear? So, what is the aim? A person who is working in the medical field, that gentleman come to you with a query that I wish to measure or I wish to identify the value of cranial capacity of a skull. When you ask them, is there any other variables which are available which can be useful to indirectly measure the cranial capacity of skull? Yes, doctor is replying, we have a 3 variables which can helpful to predict the relation between this or to predict the cranial capacity of a skull. So they have suggested 3 variables are occipital length, basic brachiomatic height, and parietal breadth. Now, if we take the logarithm of these all variables, we have this model log C that is given in a 1.3 log C equal to alpha plus beta 1 log L, beta 2 log H plus beta 3 log B plus epsilon. So, epsilon is nothing but it is a deviation between the log C and its mean. So, what is the mean of log C? It is nothing but alpha plus beta 1 log L plus beta 2 log H plus beta 3 log B. So, we know that why this deviation? Because this expected value is giving the cranial capacity, and that is not the same for each and every skull. There must be some variation. So, that variation will be given by the epsilon. So, given a value of when the patient come to the hospital, doctor will measure the LHB, and based on that, by using this model, they can say that what is the expected value of the cranial capacity of a skull. Okay. So this is where we can help the doctors. भले ही आपने medicine में नहीं गए हैं, but you can help the people who is working in the medicine, because statistics is used everywhere. The thing is that you have to understand the domain of the other person. You have to understand certain terminology. You can definitely help them. So any questions, anyone?